Not an easy question to ask. In fact, Deputy Minister Lomo is in a much better position to answer than me. And he's my junior in medical school, so I can answer. But it's wonderful to see him and so many colleagues. So just to say, personally, I felt our country went through that transformative step under President Mandela. He created that change. But what he did was he created the space for the rest of the other people who lead in their own areas to take up leadership. Because you don't lead only by leading at the top. You're going to lead throughout each of the different, in business, in medicine, in engineering. Every aspect of our society needs to go through that transformative experience. And in medicine, we struggle with that. We struggle with it because the institutions of medicine are quite resistant to change. They are designed to remain the way they are, like universities. It doesn't matter who's in power, universities are universities. So they take a long time to change. And the medical world has been going through this change. And I would say that it was the experiences of people like Professor Mayosi, because what he did was he led from the front. And when I say things like, he hit the grand slam, he's the only one. Whether you're white, blue, green, or brown, or whatever, there is no other. So that gives you some idea that here's somebody who is setting an example. And that example is, he's not telling you, run with the hares. He is running with the hares, and he is at the front of the race. And he is helping and creating that space which you so well described. He's clearing the pathway for others to follow, because he took the time, the effort, the trouble to get to that point. And I think that that's that transformation that he's doing. He's not trying to get there because of the color of his skin. He's not trying to get there for any other reason than he deserved to be there.
Sure, beautifully said, Prof. Slim. I want to take maybe just two more. I would like to hear from some ladies. Ma'am, I see you. I see you. I'm going to pretend I'm not seeing you. So only because I saw another lady raising her hand there. Perfect. So I've got my two ladies. Thank you so much. And those are the final two questions we're going to take. Madam, please go ahead.
Okay, fine. My name is Suraya, and I'm not from the health field or the university. I was from a public sector union. And at the time that there were huge bed cuts by the provincial government in Groote Hospital, I was the provincial secretary of Nihau. So we didn't know how to engage with the provincial government about those bed cuts, because our members at Groote Hospital were telling us there's going to be problems. There were the odd doctors who were Nihau members, but largely our membership was a different base. So an intern who was a Nihau member at Groote had said to us she could arrange for us to meet two professors that would explain the bed cuts to us so that we could try and engage the provincial government. The organizing in health was the old-fashioned organizers. He thought it was better to scream at the employer than to engage. So he was reluctant to go into a meeting with two professors. His thing was, no, they'll speak jargon, we don't understand the English, there'll be coconuts, there'll be all kinds of things. So our attitude was, no, you're going to have to come to the meeting with us, take the Oxford Dictionary if you have to. But let's go listen to their jargon, but we're unable to counter the provincial government. It's not agreeing that there are bed cuts. So we get to the meeting, the intern meets us downstairs at Groote. She takes us to a meeting with two professors. I had to instruct the organizer, don't speak, don't call them coconuts, just hear. And it turns out that one of the profs we were meeting was Prof. Mayosi. The other prof was a slower person, spoke slowly. Prof. Mayosi spoke very fast. But they were able to take us through how provincial government budgets were being shrinking, they were cutting the beds, and that they were taking posts off the organograms. So that when we said you're short staffed, they would say, no, it's not on the organogram. So it was Prof. Mayosi who got through to us and was able to equip us to take the battle to provincial government. Of course, we lost the battle, but we were able to engage in a way that activists do. And it was the first time that we had met this clinician, this prof, and he was able to take us through very complicated things in ways that got us to understand what implications of bed cuts are. And he said to us, you must fight this, only you can, because otherwise as doctors we turn to God. We have to decide who dies and who lives and who goes home because we don't have enough beds. So when Life Esidimeni broke out in Gauteng, it was Prof. Mayosi who came to mind. But in his engagement, every time we called him Prof, he kept saying to us, no, my name's Bongani. But we didn't feel, out of respect, we could call him by his first name. After that, the organizer came back to the office and said, someone's got to take a membership form. Prof. Mayosi needs to be a member. And he said the important thing to him was we didn't need the Oxford Dictionary. I know the point sounds almost frivolous to make in such a gathering, but I felt like there was an activism about him ahead of its time, around budgets, about bed cuts, that has broken out in all provinces that give us a sense of the state of the public health system. But it was a Prof. Mayosi who was able to very systematically, many years ago, explain this to a union who didn't know how to deal with it. Thank you for giving me that.
Surya, thank you. I think many of us resonate with his uncanny ability to simplify and to create connection because he could simplify. Let me take the final question or comment. Madam, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tumega, and I have a classmate on the panel. Hi, Kopano. So my sort of question maybe goes to you. So back in our days, our classes were very diverse, if I should put it that way. But there was always sort of memos behind the scenes that some people got in because affirmative action, this and the other. And now, so many years, maybe over 15 years since we were in class. So what would be Prof. Mayosi's sort of take? What was his take on taking people? I'm from the rural areas. I grew up there. I still live there when I go home. People who are underprivileged didn't do so well. So I think many people who feel strongly about excellence, you have to have straight A's to go to medical school. That's not a question. So what was his approach to people from less privileged areas who have a B here and there, or they're not in that category that everyone feels like it should be a fair sort of ground? And given now it's over, I don't know how many years since 1994, would he still believe in giving those people a chance? Or would he now say, okay, now we should now be going to straight A's for medical school, regardless of what sort of people should, sort of be performing? Maybe that would also speak into getting the more PhDs that he wanted, but do you think that would be his approach? Thank you.
Tabeka, thank you. It's a fantastic question. And I'm going to start off there because, Surya, I think your contribution was absolutely beautiful, and what it did is illuminated yet another angle of the activist, which we hadn't spoken about, and not so much a question. But Kopano, let's come back to Tobega's question. Did you have any line of sight of Prof. Mayosi's views on affirmative action?
Well, I think certainly taking it from the book, right, the stories, the people, I think as Prof. Slim said, Prof cared about excellence, but he understood that, we're talking about assessments. Tumeka, it's so good to see you. We're talking about a cross-sectional assessment. I think he had an understanding of privilege, of the history of our country, of how even in the institutions that you go to, whether you can see people who look like you and make it possible. I think back to Pumla, your contribution about someone like you will make others believe that it's possible, that all of that contributes to that set of 7 or 8 marks that we see. So I think, yes, I think Prof was somebody who really tried to lift as he rose himself. but also he cared about excellence broadly. And when you read the book, you will see that there are people from a diverse set of cultures and backgrounds that Prof has had a hand in supporting. And I think as to Mpiko's point, that it was beyond just the prestigious positions from, and I don't know if any of the contributors to that section were here, but from his assistants to, you know, junior people in all sorts of other domains, that he understood that every cog in the wheel makes a difference. So yes, Tumek, I think Prof, I think it's a bigger question. I'm not involved in university admissions, but I think certainly he understood that where you come from, the opportunities you are given, determine, you know, that set of final marks, and that he would be looking to sort of unlock those barriers and making sure that we give opportunity equitably. But I'll let my colleagues chip in as well.
Did you want to add to that, Prof. Biko?
No, I think Kopan has spoken well about it. Just to say that on that specific issue, I think the examples you're giving are very apt. So within his team, cleaners, okay, were given the opportunity to upskill and rise within the Mayosi research group. People that came in and thought they were simple data capturers and had no other skills were given opportunities. In fact, one of our major database designers now came in and really was given an opportunity to excel that way. But to your point about medical school, so just to take it a bit further, not only have people from underprivileged backgrounds been given the opportunity to come through, but I think he was also instrumental to making sure that once they were in, they had the appropriate support to get through and to graduate. And he was very, very instrumental to contributing to that kind of discourse and making sure it happened in our institutions. Because it's all fine to let people in, but and it might be even more damaging if people fail and they don't come through, etc., etc. So I just wanted to add that aspect.
Thank you very much. I think it's a beautiful addition. Mom Judy, before I hand over to you, one of the things I love to do is to put my panelists on the spot just one last time so they never forget me. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to ask for you to complete this sentence as we finish. And to anybody representing Swiso Publishers, this could be the title of the new book, or the next sequel. So please pay careful attention. And it starts off with two words, and the two words are Bongani's legacy. And all you need to do is complete the sentence. Now, I'm sitting with professors and doctors and occupational therapists. I have to clarify, it's a book title. It is not an executive summary. It is not a chapter. It is not a foreword. It is just the title. So you have very few words that you are invited to add to this. And the first two words are Bongani's legacy. And you complete the sentence. Now what typically happens is some look away like Gugu. So and they believe that if they look away, then I won't choose them first. So I'm just going to be systematic. And I'm going to start here. And I'm going to work my way that way. So, Dr. Kopano, Bongani's legacy
is all of us.
Bongani's legacy is all of us. Prof. Slim?
The next generation of academic leaders.
Yes, let's give that a round of applause. Bongani's legacy is the next generation of academic leaders. Prof. Mpiko.
A brighter future for Africa.
Yes. Bongani's legacy is a brighter future for Africa. Gugu, take us home.
No, the pressure. Bongani's legacy is a powerful story of a life well lived.
Bongani's legacy is a powerful story of a life well lived. I don't think we could have closed off the panel in a better way. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could ask for you to give a resounding round of applause to our panel. Thank you, thank you. We're going going to give the floor over to Mum Judy. Mum Judy, we're going to descend off stage because I know that you're going to introduce a very special speaker as we get ready for the close and of course get excited about the book signing and the other procedures that are about to follow. So thank you very much. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you so much. Another round of applause, please. Kopano is so right. Bongani's legacy is all of them. And it has been such an honor to be part of this journey. But before I call the person who will do the wrap up, I just want to recognize someone who's very special. I met her in 1983, and she just struck a chord with me as a person, and her husband was the other person, the couple that everyone at UNB knew about. They were destined to be together. This book wouldn't be possible without Professor Nala Kumar. Officially or unofficially Nala now, but to you she's Nonhlanhla. I'm towing the line, it's Nala. Thanks very much, Nonhlanhla. This book wouldn't be possible. You worked so hard. The 78 people that contributed to the book wouldn't have access to them, who wouldn't know about them. And of course, Kopano, it was an honor to be guided by the next generation in putting the book together. And the birth of the book was on the 14th of September, 2021, when I met with the matriarch of the Mayosis. And I'm told that Uma Mayosi, for those that are younger than myself, is actually the matriarch for the village, not just the Mayosis and the Kumanos. Thank you so much. Now I'd like to ask Sizwe, who is the chairperson of Bongani Mayosi Foundation. I just saw Umdungwa looking there, and it's such an honor to have all of you. Where is Sizwe? Is over there. One of the things that I would like to share as Sizwe comes to the podium, yes, he's my husband, but it's not nepotism. He's the co-founder of Nkiwa Trust, but also of Sifiso Publishers. And as a family, we decided that every net proceed from this book goes to Bongani Mayosi Foundation. So when you buy this book, that is what you'll be doing, contributing to Bongani's legacy. Maybe then Sizwe needs to tell us what Bongani Mayosi Foundation does. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Judy. And greetings to everybody who's here. It's really amazing to see so many people. And thanks to Exclusive Books for hosting this event. So, Judy and I guess wear many hats. As Judy said, in fact, I met Bongani and Nonhlanhla when they arrived at medical school. I was not a medical doctor, I was not studying to become one, but a lot of people thought I was because I was always there. And in fact, I took a lot of people, including Bongani and Mayosi, in my very old beaten up, rusted VW Beetle to medical school. But today is really a great celebration. I really would like to take this opportunity to thank Usis Nonhle, to thank the Mayosi family, to thank Nonhlanhla, Unala, and the family. The families of both the Kumalos and the Mayosis. There was a question that was asked by the Deputy Minister of Health, Dr. Sibongiseni Dlomo, about the legacy, particularly talking about the 1,000 PhDs that Bongani wanted to produce. And I just want to say and thank Nonhlanhla for all the amazing work that has been put together in creating the Bongani Mayosi Foundation. to promote and advance the legacy of Bongani Mayosi. And Bongani understood a number of things, and a lot has been said here, so I'm not going to repeat them. But one of the critical things that Bongani understood is that you can't produce PhDs in the sciences without mathematics. As we know today, more than 2/3 of our grade 12 learners are not doing mathematics, they do maths literacy. You can't produce scientists out of that. So one of the things that the Bongani Mayosi Foundation does and pursues and promotes is mathematics in schools. We have a project in Delft at the Masbamsane Secondary School, and thanks with Sipo Mayosi is here as a deputy principal, and it is about mathematics. Because without mathematics, we can talk until the cows come home about the fourth industrial revolution, about our young people participating in the sciences, but they can't do it with maths literacy. So not only have we started there, we're looking at other schools and expanding that program to the rural areas. There's a school in the Eastern Cape called Fort Malan that we're looking to get into, again, to promote mathematics. And beyond that, we have a partnership. It started off with UCT, and it was actually commented on by Professor Slim, which is the parallel program of BMed Science and MBCHB that then continues to be MMed and whatever you do as a specialist in the health sciences, and then eventually you end up exactly where Bongani was, exactly where people like Professor Mpiko have been, as a researcher and as a clinician. So the Bongani Mayosi Foundation has started in partnership with the UCT, and we're expanding that to other medical schools to promote this intercalated program, which is the twinning. So students do MBSHB, and somewhere around third or fourth year, they then do MMed or BMed, so that they can start to understand what research is all about, and then it gets them throughout. So we started that program, and thanks to some of the sponsors that have come on board, Anglo Gold Ashanti particularly kick-started that program, and it is growing, and other medical schools have expressed an interest in promoting that. And just going back to the maths and science at schools, I'd like to, I don't see them here because there are so many people, but the Serobe family actually, made a significant contribution to the Bongani Mayosi Foundation, Tomato and Gawa Serobe, in promoting that mathematics program, which is called a Siafunda program, at schools. The third one, which in fact is a program that happens at all 9 medical schools in the country, is an academic prize, and Prof. Bigot spoke about it, that Bongani was not just about promoting research, was not just about excellence as clinicians, it was also about community service, it was about servant leadership. So there's a Bongani Mayosi academic prize at all 9 medical schools, where those who demonstrate excellence in academics, plus leadership, particularly servant leadership, get recognized by the Bongani Mayosi Foundation, and there are all manner of prizes to actually encourage those people to continue doing the work that they do. So all 9 medical schools participate in this, which is now it's our 3rd year this year of doing so, because it is about a lot of the things that the panelists who are sitting here were talking about, and how we promote these things, which essentially are the legacy of Bongani. So the 1,000 PhDs, which was his vision and his dream, it is work in progress. And the Bongani Mayosi Foundation is there to support it, because, as I say, you've got to create the pipeline. It's all about the pipeline. If you don't have the pipeline from the schools, there's no way you're going to get to 1,000 PhDs. So it's really, really important. So There are other programs that the Bongani Mayosi Foundation does, and we have a really great partnership with the UCT. There's a library project and other projects that are ongoing at UCT. And I also want to thank Professor Ndova, who is the Dean of Health Sciences at UKZN. There's now really one of the biggest lecture halls at UKZN that's named after Professor Bongani Mayosi. It was launched just about 2 months ago at UKZN at the Nelson Mandela Health Sciences or Medical School. And there are other programs that are in the pipeline that we hope to launch, realize as the Bongani Mayosi Foundation. So the legacy lives on, and it is going to grow. It is going to continue to inspire, and it's all because of the inspiration that we had from this gift that we had, the gift that we had, which is Bongani Mayosi in the country. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Sizwe. We've come to the end of the program. I just need to give guidance as to how, after we buy the book, which I'm assuming that you will, which reminds me that Prof. Ndova that Sizwe mentioned has already bought books for the medical students, sponsored them to make sure that it's a two-pronged thing. The students learn about leadership, about someone that looks like them, who made a difference in the world, not just in this country, but also for the contribution to Bongani's legacy. So Kopano and I will be sitting here to sign, if you want us to sign the book that you've bought. And then here, the 78 contributors to which we are so grateful to. I can see there's Prof. Jimmy Volmink there, and I can see Mashiko there. I see quite a few of them. Of course, Ishubi Elihle is behind Usis Nonje. We've got the books for you, so you can come and collect them, those that contributed. Otherwise, thank you so much for a beautiful turnout. Thank you so much for having shared your lives in so many different ways with Bongani. And thank you again, Nala. It's been many years, and it continues. Thank you. Thanks very much.
But